kışlıkta dar gelir. Gelmenim Recep'im, Recep'im, gelmesin öleceğim. Kara gözüm salkama, salkama, yar sen aldın aklımı.
I told you that hello to everyone who sees me for the second time or for the first time today. It's not 3 streams this Sunday, but 2. So, guys, Rick, focus. Yeah, it's hard to focus today because I am in a tired, grumpy mode, and I am tired. Right, progress bar. It's going to be the bottom progress bar. It's going to be for our new fundraiser, which is the car and tools for whom? Well, not for the first. That's a mistake here. It's a separate presidential brigade named by Bohdan Khmelnytsky. So it's Bohdana Khmelnytskого, which he was the first hetman who basically united all Ukraine back in 1948. Guys, if you are just joining the stream and wonder for what raffle you need to buy tickets, here it is. There's a flag of Magura signed by soldiers, 7 signatures on that flag. Here it is. It's a cool chess piece transformed into a dragon. There are no such chess pieces because they are the beasts of Ukrainian army. Well, Lena, I'm happy that you're joining me today because I'm in a exhausted, grumpy mode, and
Because of
well, basically because I did not have enough sleep tonight, probably. And
I have a news. Actually, 2 pieces
let's go.
of it. The first one today, my interview with Philip Itner was released,
Nice.
and
Oh
I
yeah.
was so excited to watch it because I wouldn't say nervous, but it was like my first big solo interview,
Extremely motivated.
and it was an interesting experience. And the second one is I'll have a birthday next week, and I'm gonna turn 26. That's why I'm opening a fundraiser for 26,000 hryvnia,
Mhm.
and I'm like, it's the biggest amount of money I have ever fundraised, and I'm not sure I would be able to close it like fast enough, but
Like, I think you right now are forgetting that who are you dealing with? You're dealing with rollers, and
well, yeah, but I think today you're gonna fundraise for cars, right?
oh, you mean with the car for Ukraine?
Yes.
Well, not like we're
No?
actively raising funds with them. They have their campaign. I have shitloads of my campaigns, and maybe I will do one campaign with them, like collaborate with them, like I collaborate with 69th Infantry Brigade. We can do it with Car for Ukraine too, and start a campaign there for
I
a few
see.
trucks. So yeah, we're not actively raising funds for them, but if rollers have some extra funds to throw into their jar tonight, they are welcome. It's going to be posted. I mean, it's already posted in the description of the stream. They will follow the link. I will definitely be calling them to do that. Okay.
Last 3 days I spent in Odessa, and I saw Aziza,
Yes.
and she received a visa to Tunisia.
Yeah.
I know how like nervous she was that she
Yeah.
may not get it, and oh my god, when she got the news that she got it, we hugged, I think, like for 2 minutes or maybe 3 minutes, because it was such a big you know
Yeah. Big.
joy and
Yeah.
happiness. I was so glad for her, and I'm really excited to meet her uh, on the stream where she's gonna sing with a new how do you call it, things to record.
To do the stream, the concert stream.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still haven't announced it. It's a
Oh,
spoiler. No problem, no problem. but I wanted to say that what? Yeah, guys, next week. No, it's not gonna be next week. No. Okay, first event is Lena's birthday. We're gonna do a stream that day. It's gonna be Lena, Lisa, and me. We're gonna do a coffee shop stream. Lena, do you like cakes?
I do, but unfortunately, I won't be able to share a cup of coffee with you because I'm very sensitive to coffee, and my hands are starting trembling as soon as
We're
a drop of
gonna.
caffeine gets into my
I
body.
drank tea there. They also have tea. Don't worry.
Nice. Yeah, so tea and cake would be great.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna celebrate together with you guys. You've just been invited to a birthday party.
Yeah,
of
and
Lena.
actually, I'm so happy like that it's gonna happen on my like actual birthday because like for these how I would say 4 months we know each other, yeah, Rick.
Yeah,
Uh,
something like that.
you've
Yeah.
become like a really meaningful community to me, like Enric personally and all the rollers because you show your support to not only Ukraine but also like small creators like Aziza or me to close
Yeah.
my fundraiser. So I would be like I would imagine that we are having like this celebration with many guests.
Yeah.
Uh,
In
I'm
a
excited to
big
have it.
hall, right?
Yeah.
But guys, here's an announcement. We are doing a concert stream with Aziza on the 5th of November. It is, yes, it's a weekday, but you probably will have to take the day off to visit the concert for once. But it's going to be made on the equipment that you sponsored Aziza with. I'm so excited. We are going to prepare it. Carlen is going to be testing all the equipment. Before that, he has a lot of work. We've done a lot of work with Aziza and Carlen in the past 2-3 days. We were buying all that equipment, choosing the right equipment, figuring out if we need some extras, spending money. We spent already like $2,700. So we still have some stuff to buy, but I think most of the things were already bought. So we only need to buy the lights and the sound panels, the soft ones for the walls. That's all the stuff that we still have to buy. But Aziza also started her private entrepreneur account already, and it was approved by the tax service, and I'm so excited about that. And she is going to be creating her base tomorrow. And guys, Lena also has her base. She has 2 subscribers now. Okay, Ivan, hello.
Hello there. Yeah.
Nice, we can hear you. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Good to meet you, Rick. Good to meet you, Lena.
And we're waiting for Claire, right? Or is she also there?
I think there is.
She's here.
Oh yeah, it's just.
She's here with a little
see me?
koala.
Welcome, Claire.
Hi, Rick. Hi, Lena. Hi, Ivan.
How are you doing, guys?
Pretty good. It's dawn here in Australia. It's just, the sun is just starting to come up.
What time is it?
It's 6 a.m.
Oh my God, so early.
Yeah.
Alberta, since you nearly tricked me with your time changing, and I was going to be getting here at 5, but luckily you did the time change. And then when I set my alarm last night, I just couldn't figure it out, and I had to ring Ivan and say, "What time is it there? I can't figure this out. Something's changed." So,
It is tricky.
Okay, guys.
You guys don't change it in Australia, right? So it's better now for you. So you didn't have to wake up at 5.
We
could have an extra hour of sleep.
Yes. We also do daylight saving, but we changed our times the other way. So it's spring here, and we changed our time forward 3 weeks ago at the beginning of October.
Ah, like that. Oh, yeah. Understandable. So you also do that.
Yes.
Just a bit opposite because everything's upside down in Australia, right?
So opposite.
Okay. Guys, I really like your initiative, your Car for Ukraine fund, and what you do with the cars. I want you to share your personal stories and the story of Car for Ukraine. If you like, whatever order you like. I think, Ivan, you probably gotta go first. Like I said, any order, and then I said, Ivan, you should go first. That's typical me, guys. It's just you will get to this, get used to this. I'm also am alarming you. I'm a bit tired or exhausted, and never
Time
gonna
to
run
recroll the
around and
list.
desert you. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that shit just because we have a thing. We are Rick Rollers, and sometimes when people send donations on the base, it's a Ukrainian analog of Buy Me a Coffee and Patreon. The notification of Rick Ashley song is playing. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. So, and Paul D just sent 500 hryvnias, and he commented, "It's time to Rick roll the guests." So, Paul D just Rick rolled you guys. So, Ivan, please tell me how it all started and, yeah, your story.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. And first of all, thanks for having us. We've heard about your work and about your great contribution with NAFO. And yeah, Claire found a way to reach out to you. So thanks for being here. Without her, we wouldn't be here.
Thank you,
But yeah,
guys.
with me, it's quite simple. Actually, I see that Lina is from Crimea. At least that's the name of her channel. And I guess she is from Crimea. And I'm myself from Kherson. So for me, the war also started off in 2014. At least it was hard to ignore because Russians were very close to my home.
Yeah.
And then in 2022, they actually came to my city, and they occupied my city where my parents were, my brother was, all my other relatives who live on the other side of the river in Kherson region. And I was in Kiev and then left to Lviv region. And I had, electricity, I had internet, I had access to computer, and I couldn't just sit down, so I had to do something. And there were many initiatives, there were many different things that people were doing. Someone was feeding people, someone was giving them houses. I didn't have any of those. So I found several groups. One of them was Serhiy Pritula. He was doing different cars projects. Another one was Roman Hapachilo, Nashi Bezrashi, or in Ukraine they call them Banderomobil. And I followed the guys, and I like, oh, that's interesting. I reached out to them and I said, you guys are communicating in Ukrainian with Ukrainians, which, you'll be exhausted very, very soon before the war will be over. So let's create something global. And back then we organized an organization, we called it Car for Ukraine.
When
Make
was
it
it?
very neutral. Yeah, it was about April, May 2022. And the first we were pushing like donate and get rewarded. This was like the key headline: donate and get a reward, get a T-shirt, get a trip to Ukraine or something like that. But then we started looking at what sort of market is ready for. And what we realized, a lot of people were more eager not to donate money, but to give away their car. It was, to put it simple, it's much easier to get a car donation than $5,000 donation, whereas the cars are equally important. And then we were just developing it. And at this moment, we've sent 488 cars to the front line. Most of them are pickup trucks, and 250 of them are donated directly from someone from Britain, from the UK, from
250?
Europe. Yeah, about 250 were directly donated. That someone was driving, casually on a farm, and now those cars, bearing rocket launchers or machine guns or something else. So that was basically the idea, and then Claire had an idea of celebrating her 70th anniversary by buying several cars and coming to Ukraine. Obvious.
So sweet.
Sweet.
So I think that's where the Claire story begins, right? Claire, but
I give her the stage.
let's go a bit back in time. Maybe you can start even, I don't know, like not necessarily connected to Ukraine. Can you tell us about your background, about your work?
Prehistory.
Yeah, like the prehistory. It would be cool to hear that.
Okay, so I am a veterinarian, hence the animal. Well, the animal is on that side. Sorry, get this back to front. The koala.
Yeah.
And when I was working part-time having children, I started in conservation, and I have had a conservation foundation in Indonesia for 20 years, saving endangered animals in Indonesia. So I've been very much involved with aid to, basically I work with a grassroots group in Indonesia, saving animals and protecting their national park. And so I'm very long-time experience with grassroots organizations and recognizing who's actually doing it on the ground in the country. And I'm very passionate about support the local people and the local initiatives. And yeah, just stumbled onto this one terrific group in Indonesia, which I've really focused on. And now I have a group in Ukraine that I've really focused on. But going forward, I have 2 children that are grown up and living in Berlin, and I'm here in Australia. I live on a farm. And in 2022, I guess I was just really horrified by the full-scale invasion. And then I heard about Car for Ukraine on a podcast called Ukraine the Latest from UK. And I reached out and thought I'd give a donation. And it turned out that Australia's got sanctions on Ukraine. So it's really hard to give a donation in the normal way. I can't give it to Monobank or any of those sort of things.
Sanctions on the country that's been invaded and against whom the genocide has been committed.
Well, yeah, but I don't think it's done for any reason against Ukraine. It's more that the Australian banking system can't sort out who's Ukrainian and who's not Ukrainian in the system. So they've just gone, no, don't give donations that way, find another way. And so I sent a donation to Ivan. So I started communicating with him about a whole lot of annoying things and taking his time about this donation. And then that went on to buying a few cars. And then we did this year was my 70th birthday. And so my sons offered me a trip to Rwanda to see the gorillas, or a cruise on the around Samoa, or to drive a car to Ukraine. And I said to them, well, of course, we have to go and see the gorillas in Rwanda, but let me think about it because I'm not quite sure. So I got back to them in a week and I said, well, I'd love to do the gorillas and I'd love to do Samoa, but really my heart's with Ukraine. So I think we have to do that. And so we did. So we went to UK and met the wonderful Sergey, who buys the cars. And my boys and I drove 3 cars, 1 car each, across Europe. We took our time and went bushwalking in Poland and places like up in the mountains. And we took a whole week to get across and had a wonderful trip. And then met Ivan and the team face to face. And from there, the relationship goes on. Ivan and I talk just about every day about fundraising. We've become a family in a way. It's weird.
And you guys told me also personally in the group chat that we've created what everything costs. And you also told me that your initiative consumes less money because you buy cars in UK and not on European or Ukrainian market where they are much cheaper in UK, meaning in UK. So can you tell us why is that happening this way, and how did you discover that?
Should I go with that, Claire?
Sure.
Yeah, actually, it goes back to 2014 when the war actually already started. And it turns out that there were quite a lot of people in the UK who were all this time buying cars and supplying them to the front line, even though not too much public attention was to it. But still, people were doing it. And then in the first couple of months, when the full-scale war started, we were buying cars from Sweden, Poland, Switzerland, UK, Germany, different places wherever we could. We had connections. We had people we knew, because basically what you do is you take 5,000 euro, 7,000 euro, and send it to the person. You don't really worry too much about signing deals or anything when the war starts.
Mhm.
So you just send it to whoever you trust.
Yeah.
Like I personally, from this group, but that was Banderomobil in the Ukrainian version of that, they, like I said, okay, I can manage buying a car from Germany. They said, fine. And they just sent me 300,000 hryvnia, like just one transaction. I'm like, and I really spent several days talking to them. Like they don't know me, but they just send me like a huge sum of money.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know, a couple of months of work. And then I'm like, okay, so how do I transfer it to Germany? Because you know yourself, right? Sending money outside of Ukraine in the first days of war had so many limitations. Such a simple thing. It was really hard to do. But then we found that cars normally cost less and are newer and on average better in the UK. It's simple economic approach. It's a very simple fact that the cars in the UK, they're right-hand driven, which means no one wants them in Europe, which means their value on the second-hand market is very low, which means we want them because we drive them on the battlefield. We don't really care where the wheel is. Yeah, and the only alternative for British cars is send them to South Africa, which is maybe not that, not such a nice market as it would be if Germany wanted to buy them or France wanted to buy them. So that was a very logical economical move. We also had several cases where Russian snipers were shooting at the wrong side, like they were shooting the left side of the car, and they would miss, and then the driver would know that he's been targeted, and that was also sort of sometimes a motivation for the soldiers to ask for that. But that's more of a nice headline for the Telegraph article that they did in the first few months of war. But yeah, it's simple economical effect. Like we buy pretty good, solid L200s in Britain for £4,000-5,000, which is about 5,000-6,000 euro. A good, solid L200.
What year?
About 2010, 2009.
10.9. Yeah, that's a good price. What this model of 2010, 2009 will cost in Europe?
Well, about 10,000 euro, I guess. That would be about the average. But then also we like Toyota Hilux because everyone likes them. They are a little bit more comfy. They have more room inside. They're more reliable. Those in Britain you can buy for about 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 pounds, and sometimes we buy them too. And then they would cost, in euro, maybe 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 euro. That would be about the amount. We actually had a case where a guy whose name is Ari. If you check our Twitter account, we just or Instagram, we just sent a pickup truck that will be refitted with a rocket launcher. That this guy Ari bought in Britain after he came out to us and said, "I found a great pickup truck in Sweden. Want to buy it?" He sent it to me, and it costed 220,000 Swedish kron. In euro, that's about 20k euro. And we're like, Ari, That's generous offer. Don't do it, please. Fly to Britain, buy 2 of those, and you'll still have money, to have a beer and bring some beer for us. And he did exactly that. In fact, he brought 2 Hiluxes to us and has some leftover money. So it's just economical. And we have logistics set up, and that's why when Claire flew to us, we were not even collecting money from her through the website or the donor box page. We just connected her to the person who buys cars for us. He did all the money transfer and all that stuff. And he bought a car, she picked it up and brought it to Ukraine. We were more like synchronizing with all the moves. Yeah.
Anyway, I was really impressed to meet the buyer in Britain. The buyer in Britain, Rick and Lena, is a Ukrainian who's moved over to Britain, I think, in 2008 and studied at Oxford University, and he's now done really well in his career. And he was just so, just a really impressive person to meet personally. And he has this kind of collection of odd bods of Ukrainians that work with him on this project. And, but really they all depend on him enormously. And we had this weird experience where we were departing on the Saturday of Easter. And on Friday, Good Friday, Sergey went and turned on all the cars to make sure that they worked. And one of them wouldn't start. And so he messaged me to say he had a car that wouldn't start, and that we would only have 2 cars. And of course, with 3 drivers that have just been convinced that we're doing this because they get their own car to take, it was very disappointing. And I just thought, this guy's got enormous grit and he's going to find another car somehow. And by midnight, Good Friday, he'd been trawling online looking for good buys. He'd found one 6 or 7 hours north of London. In the morning, he must have got up at some horribly early hour. He went up there, checked the car, bought the car, came back and met the rest of us at Dover, and we departed on the Saturday for Europe. I mean, it was just a really impressive thing that they were desperate to get to their family barbecue on Easter Saturday, and they'd put all this time into sorting out a 3rd car for us and making sure that all came together. So bravo him. But the as far as the grassroots thing go, Ivan, because I've been involved in international aid for 20 years, it's a really important thing in international aid to support local organizations. So for my conservation work, I get, for a long time, I was getting donations from the US government. And it was really important to a big donor like US government, but also anybody else that we talk to, that we involve local people and that we're very much for the benefit of local people, and that the money wasn't being spent in a first world country to pay us wages, basically. So our organization, our conservation organization, is based on everybody in a Western country has to do it for free. We don't take any wages out. All the money goes to the country, the destination country. And I think that's what stood out about Car for Ukraine for me, was that this was a real deal on the ground organization. And even though Ivan and Roman and all of them donate their time, the engineering wages are paid in Ukraine. All the engineering work's done in Ukraine. All the skills are in Ukraine to develop the cars and make them into a fighting machine and upgrade the car. And even though the cars are bought in UK, they then go, and all the rest of it, the donor money is spent in Ukraine. And I find that really important for what we're trying to achieve here, that the money goes to developing skills and livelihoods in Ukraine and ultimately building businesses in Ukraine. So that was a very high priority for me when I decided to link my energies with Car for Ukraine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just to explain what I do, I help Ivan to reach out to international communities. That's what my role is to, like yesterday I sent 100 emails. So then you
Oh.
see, out of that, maybe one might reply if I'm lucky.
Wow.
It's pretty picking teeth stuff, but yeah.
May I ask a question?
Sure, Lena.
How did you like the delivery to Ukraine? What was your experience?
Oh, so many things. Oh God. So first of all, I have to tell you about the border.
Mhm.
So border was
Nice part.
like, well, it's a long time since I've had to travel through hard borders, and I've never taken a car through hard borders. So we had a hard border UK to Europe, and that was intimidating enough because they said, all right, we're going to take your cars and x-ray them. And at that point I thought, holy dooly, are we mules? Could there be something in the doors? Could Sergei have put armaments in the doors or drugs, or could this all be a false front? How do we know? We've gone complete faith here. So that was a bit of a hairy moment. But then when we drove across Europe and everything was open, of course. And then we get to Ukraine, and the Polish people were absolutely so friendly. Let me help you do this, because everything in our car was on the wrong side, right? So to get through the booths, you have to get out of your car and walk around the car because we're right-hand driving, and get to the booth on that's set up for the left-hand driver. And then we get across to the Ukrainian side, and it's like machine guns and everything. And nobody had a sense of humor, and nobody was friendly. And it was really intimidating. And we thought we'd sorted it out, and we tried to exit the border. And the guy at the last barricade sent us back and said, no, you haven't done this, blah, blah, blah. Where's your ticket, blah, blah, blah. So we went back, and then we had to try and find a place to park. And right, the whole thing's absolutely a bottleneck of enormous trucks, and we're in these little pokey cars, and we're trying to find a place to park our three cars so that we can get out of the cars and go back into the office and say, hey, we didn't complete something or other. Can you tell us what it is? And anyway, so this was all quite stressful.
Of course.
And we go into the office. We finally get our final yellow ticket or whatever it was they were looking for. And I said, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. And there was this container where the toilets were set up. And I thought, I went to this container, and there was a lady there, quite an elderly lady. I think I'm elderly, but I wasn't as elderly as she. And and I said, is this the ladies' toilet? And she said, yeah, or something. And so I went to go in, and she said, no, she put out her hand and wanted some money. So I went into my wallet, and I thought, oh, what have I got? I've only got 10 euros. And so I gave her 10 euros. And she was like, no, too much. And I was saying, no, that's all I've got. It's the smallest I've got. So you have to have it. And she's saying, no. So it turned out I'd come around the corner to this thing, and there was actually a queue of about 30 people waiting. And I'd kind of jumped the queue to go to this lady to sort out what had to be done. And eventually what she did was she held up all her hands to the queue and said, and sort of indicated that I was to go first because I'd paid 10 euros. Right? So I went in. Nobody else was allowed in. There were several booths in there. And I just had it to myself. I came out, and then my son came over and said, are you right, Mum? And she said, held up her hands to all the queue and said, Dexter, you have to go. And I don't need to go. I said, Dexter, just go. Then he went in. And it was a really sweet moment with this lady. She was just so delighted to get I was more than delighted to give her the 10 euros. And then we drove in, and it was like, first thing that hit me was all the little religious icons at the entry to all the farms on the road, because we don't have that in Australia. We don't have a religious society at all. We're very atheistic, I think you'd have to say. Everybody's disinterested in, many people are disinterested in church. And so that was really lovely. And then we got to Lviv, and I was just blown away by how much of the city was cobblestones. Just so this feeling of history was so wonderful, because most of the European cities now, the cobblestones are in the very center, and probably they were restored after the war or something like that. And after World War II, I should say. And but in Lviv, it's everywhere. And driving across cobblestones in pickup trucks is not actually that great, because they've got really hard suspension. So going boom, 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 boom. And we were going to meet Ivan at the Field of Mars, and he was a bit delayed because he had a meeting with the army, I think, that day. And so we went into the Field of Mars, and that was incredibly moving and hard to get your head around. And I think Ukrainians have a way of tending graves that we don't see in Australia. It's just done with so much love and attention, and very personal attention. There's a lot of live flowers, not dead flowers. There were children's toys and flags fluttering, and just this sense that this is a very fresh and young and loved person. And that was really wonderful to see. And then you come across a grave where obviously they don't have much family and don't have many friends, and they get a lot less, and you kind of want to look after that person even though they're gone. And anyway, that was very moving. And on lots of levels, though, I think you'd have to say, more than just the level of death and destruction, stuff like that. And then we met up with Ivan, and we'd started very early in the morning, and so we were pretty hungry. So we were desperate for him to take us for food. And I think we first of all went to deliver the cars to the workshop. And so driving through Lviv in a convoy now of 4 cars following Ivan was quite complex to try and get us all through all the intersections at the same time and stuff like that. So there was a lot of stopping and starting, and we got to the workshop. And that was actually quite emotional for us. We'd become extraordinarily attached to our vehicles. And we all felt like having a little weep at that point. It was like giving away a child in a way. I don't know if you drive much, but I'm very attached to my cars, but I didn't expect to get attached to this pickup truck in a week. And I did. And I'm still attached to it. Like I see every Toyota Hilux on the street, and I think, there's one of my babies. Like the 2 boys had Mitsubishis, I had a Toyota. And then we went for lunch, and that was great because Ivan is a terrific host. He's very gregarious. He's very authentic and very, he can just chatter on in English for hours. And so he was trying to introduce us to all these foods, and it was just a funny experience. And then I can't remember what we did in the afternoon, but we fairly quickly rolled on to dinner and got taken to a meat restaurant with some middle ages torturer in attendance. Can you describe it, Ivan?
Yeah, that's in Ukraine it's called Ресторація м'яса і справедливості, Meat and Justice place.
I haven't heard of them.
Me too.
Maybe you know,
Like
okay,
theater type restaurant in a way, but it's
if you know Kryivka, Pravda, Lviv, chocolate manufacturer, so this is all one chain. So, and all of these places, as you know, they have a theme. So there will be a show, not on their food. Like Kryivka, of course, this is like the very, very basic thing you go to when you come to Lviv. But that one is also, it's also like great food, but you also have a guy that looks a little bit like Santa, but he's actually an executor. He's a torturer from 18th century who is complaining about all the industrial revolution that took his job away. The guillotine came in, the weapons came in, and now he's jobless. Now he has nothing to do. And now he comes, like with an axe and with a knife, and then he feeds you with the spiciest sauce you ever eat in your life. So it's an
What if
experience.
you don't want to?
Yeah.
Well, he asked, like, is there
Good
anyone of you who is brave? And
Okay.
Claire's son, I think it was Cooper, right?
Cooper decided to be the man of the party and give this hot spice a try. And you start with the weakest spice, and the weakest spice was like almost without flavor,
It's still
And-
chili.
Yeah, but it wasn't barely. And even the second spice was without flavor, very low chili. And the third spice was deceptively low chili. But the fourth spice was like this killer chili that you build up your confidence. You think, this is easy, this is easy. Anyway, Cooper managed it really well and didn't splutter or cough or anything. And so I thought, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And I tried. I went straight to the fourth spice. Oh no, I think I tried the first or second or something, then went to the fourth. And then it ended up I couldn't breathe.
Oh shit.
I couldn't breathe. And I had to bring lemonades or something to resuscitate me. Anyway, the whole experience was quite weird and wonderful. And to see everybody just out enjoying themselves, and then because we'd downloaded the Alarm app, which we were told was essential coming in, and all of a sudden our phones, the three of us, our phones started going off, and nobody else seemed to be having their phones alarming. They all had they're switched off, and we're going, well, what's that? Why are our phones ringing? Because by this stage we'd had a couple of drinks and we're pretty relaxed. We're not going to have to drive after this because we don't have cars anymore. And so we're drinking and enjoying ourselves, and we're thinking, oh, hell, there's an air raid alert and nobody else is reacting. And how do we deal with this? So it was really a freaky sort of moment of how quickly your guard goes down. And, are we doing the right thing by just joining with the crowd? And, is this just a peer pressure thing that we do nothing? Or should we force this, that we all go to the shelter? But nobody knew where a shelter was. And it was this weird disconnecting moment of trying to get your head around it when you're not living in it. You're just visiting the day.
And the global thing that Eureka doing, and I'm also trying to do, is trying to introduce Ukraine to the rest of the world, trying to tell people what it is, Ukraine, trying to get people in Ukraine, show them around, guide them, show them some places, treat them with some nice meal.
I physically do that. This summer, 5 to 7 rollers visited Kyiv, and I was driving them around and having meals with them. Pretty cool, guys. I always encourage people to come to Ukraine and discover Ukraine. And yes, as you said, I try to show Ukraine to people, show places, show art, Ukrainian art. We are also focused on that. I visit galleries sometimes. I go to the Free Azov rallies, guys, every week, and we show, we support the families of the captives with that. We also making the voices of the captives, like amplifying them with our voices. Okay, so not to keep you here longer and let you go to sleep, Ivan, and you,
Sleep
Claire.
well.
Yeah. So, guys, I usually say live long, prosper, and donate.
If I can do that.
If you
Donatella. Yeah, because it's Donatella. It's a turtle. It's
Need to join
turtle ninja.
No. It's actually from. It's actually from Star Trek. Spock, the Vulcan. Vulcan was saying "live long and prosper," and I added "and donate" to it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Rollers, for having us on board.
Thank
Been
you
a
very
joy.
much.
I always in my emails or tweets I say together to our shared victory.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, guys, together
That was
to the shared
That was
victory.
the World War II one, the Churchill.
Churchill one, yeah, that's what we need.
And that's what we say to Russia.
That's what we say to Russia.
Got to get it the right way around, right?
That's what I usually say to Russia.
That's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
that's an equal synonym to that,
I
but
didn't.
it's Scottish version.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a story for that, but that's for
Nice.
another stream.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Okay, guys, it was nice to meet you, talk to you. Great conversation. Thank you, and
As they say, see round like a rissole.
see you around like a resolve.
Like a rissole.
A
A
resolve.
rissole's like a meatball that you've some mincemeat that you've made into a ball, and you put it in pasta dishes.
Mm.
And it's just an expression that we use. See you round like a rissole.
Mhm. Okay. I learned
See you
something
next
new. See you next time. Thank you, guys.
See you
Bye.
next time.
Slava
Bye-bye.
Ukraini. Bye, guys.
Heroям слава. Bye-bye.
Guys, thank you so much for becoming a subscriber on Lena's base. I am very grateful to you for doing that. She is amazing. She deserves our support. And we're rolling. Let's do it. Spinning the wheel. You hear the sound of clicking. And the winner is number 359. Congratulations, number 359. Let's go and see. 359. Fred Thornbury for his donation for fuel 2 days ago. Oh my God, Fred. Lucky you. Well deserved. Thank you, my friend, for being a legend. Closing so many fundraisers. 359 goes to Fred Thornbury. Fred, my friend, you're a badass. Thank you. Guys, you remember how many times you won because Fred shared tickets with you rollers? So, yeah, Fred also shares a lot. Fred, the bomb. Always a wild ride. It is. 359. Congrats, Fred. 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. Let's go and do one more. Number 304, not far away from that one. Number 304. Nice. Martin Bisick wins this patch. That's really cool, Martin. I will send it to you hopefully tomorrow, but maybe later this week. Look at this. What a beautiful one. Brick rollers. Thank you for your service. And the progress bar will update now. And we closed it. We just closed this fundraiser. Thank you so much, guys. 6 awesome heaters. The diesel heaters. Da Vinci Wolves. They are glorious guys, and it's an honor to support them. It's an honor for me. From Rick, the Ukrainians community, Donetsk is Ukraine. I don't know why that popped up in my mind, but anyway, it did. And the progress bar will update now. That's the last donation for tonight. And it just updated. We're 174,098 hryvnias on 29%. It's so fucking cool, guys. We went from 5 to 29 during this week. You sent so many generous donations, and so many of them, and so many of you sent them, that Yeah, that's that we were able to move that far so fast. So cool, guys. Love you. Love you very much. Thank you for all the support. Okay. Please don't forget to encourage people to donate to our fundraiser for Chimera, because we're stuck. Yeah, no, one donation was made after all during the stream. Someone sent 100 euros approximately, so 110 donations is a pretty good result, but we're still on, let me check the percentage. We're still on 54%. Great result, guys. Don't forget that Chimera needs our help. Okay, guys. Need to go. Glad to help, Yarik. It's an honor. Thank you. Go to sleep, Rick. That's what I need. It's 4 a.m. here. I'm really sleepy, but you guys did a great job. Okay, see you on Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm gonna meet with Carlan, and we're gonna set up Aziza's laptop, and I think I'll make a video from there already, an update for you. But we'll also meet with Helena tomorrow too, so a lot of meetings tomorrow. Gonna be a good day. Love you all, guys. Live long, prosper, donate to Ukrainian army. And Slava Ukraini. Героям слава. Thank you for watching. Please like this video, leave any comment under it, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. You can find the full stream recording. This clip was taken from here. And I invite you to join us on Rick the Ukrainian here for live streams and videos from Ukraine. Thank you, and live long and prosper.